welcome to my studio and the world of colors. Today we're going to be making a beautiful gnome named Miss Poppy Seed. She's over here. You can see her here. I'll try to spin her on the spin wheel for you. So you can see the back of her. Miss Poppy Seed for spring, for our first spring gnome project. And I've got all the materials to make her in front of me, and I'll be right back to tell you about it. Okay, so what you're going to need to make Miss Poppy Seed is these Dollar Tree utensils in the toy department there. We'll be using a couple of those. We'll be using a pair of these socks from the sock department at Dollar Tree. They're the women's 5x9 size socks, the floral socks. And then we need 3 7-inch rollers from the Dollar Tree. They come 6 in a package. We need 3 of those. And then also from the Dollar Tree, I found these red flowers in the floral section. And you're going to need 2 packages because we need 3, and they come 2 in a package. We need 3 for this project. In our felts and fleeces, we need 2 7x9-inch pieces of red felt for the hat, and we need a 12x18 piece of red felt for the top. We need 7x16 piece of green fleece for the shorts, and a 12x16-inch piece of green fleece for the body. And we also will need 3 7x7-inch pieces of white felt for the hands and nose. And then we're going to need, I've got some leather trim that I've had for a long time that I'm going to use for the hat and around the front ponytails. Any type of trim you want to use. I like this color pink. It plays off the pink flowers really nicely, so that's why I chose that. And then we're also going to use the yellow paper ribbon that I got from Amazon in a variety pack of colors. And we're going to use some flat marbles. And then for the hair, this is a rust color hair that I got on Amazon. I just got it recently. I really love it. Really good quality fur. The back piece of hair will be 5 inches by 5 inches. And then the 2 front pieces will be 3 inches by 6 inches. So you need 2 of those. And then this is the pot of flowers that I put together that she's going to be holding. And it's just poly pellets on the inside, and then white glue. And you stir that up in there, let it dry a little bit, and then you want to paint it with your Testors earth color brown paint, acrylic paint. And then as soon as that paint just dries to touch, you want to push in your flowers. And the flowers come from these headbands that you get the spring collection at the Dollar Tree. And I just take the wire cutters and clip those right off of there. And they break right off pretty easily. But I start with the wire cutters. And then you're going to need your polyester fiber fill and your glue sticks, your scissors, some blush. We're going to blush out our nose and hands, some rubber bands, and these pink clips that I get at the Crafter Square at the Dollar Tree. You get 6 in a package for $1. Really great to have. We're going to be using those today also. So that's about it. And I'll get this stuff pushed back off my table so I have room to make her, and I'll be right back with you. The thing that we're going to do to make Miss Poppy Seed today is to make her body. And it's not the typical body that I make with the socks. We're going to use the felt today, and I've done this before. Today we're going to use the felt on Miss Poppy Seed, and we're going to need a 12-inch by 16-inch piece of the green fleece. And we're going to glue the 12-inch ends together. We're going to fold it in half and glue the 12-inch ends together. So you just want to run back about a quarter of an inch back and run that glue bead all the way down to the end. Like that. We're going to let that set up for a minute. It doesn't have to be completely set up because we're just going to go ahead. We'll let it set up for just a few more seconds. Don't want it coming apart on me. I'm going to start right at the seam, and I'm just going to start bunching it together. Like that. Until you have it looking like that. You want to put your rubber band over it. And wrap that like that. And then we're going to turn it right side out. Pull it out a little bit. Like that. And then flip it over. Because what we're going to do is put some marbles in the bottom. They're flat marbles. Get those all around the donut shape in there. Like that, and then you want to fill the rest of the way with the polyester fiber fill. And then close it up. You can close it up easily, so now I'll just do the same thing as I did at the bottom. Wrap your rubber band around it. And that's going to be our body. The seam will be in the back. We have one seam on it. And this will be the front. And I'll be right back with you and we'll do the arms. Next we're going to be making the arms. So if you take out your socks your flowered socks from Dollar Tree, and just take one of your 7-inch rollers and lay that on the top of the socks. I've got the 2 socks laid here together. And lay that on the top. And it's going to be, I want to save as much for the legs as I can. I'm not going to, I don't want to short the arms too much, but I'm not going to leave a lot of extra here on the arms. So this is what we're going to use for the legs. And this is what we're going to use for the arms. So we're going to make the arms now. And what we want to do is fill it with the fiber fill. Once you get about that much stuffing in there, you want to just go ahead and tunnel down in the middle of the fiber fill and put your rod in there. Kind of pull that smooth. That's my little puppy over there shaking her head, making that noise. So then you want to, this is the end that's going to be attached to the body. We're just going to take a rubber band and attach that all together. Like that. And then down at the other end, we're going to put a rubber band around the pink ribbed edge. That works out nicely for our cuff, where the pink is there. I don't want to get the wrist too tight. That's about good there. About like that. And I'm going to do the other arm and I'll be right back with you. So I've got both the arms made now, and the next thing I wanted to do was on the ends of the arms, I'm going to trim them a little bit. I've got the roller right where I want it as far as space to glue the hands in, and I don't want this extra bulk when I glue it onto the body. So I'm going to trim them up a little bit with my craft scissors. Like that. Just pops right off. Just leave about that much on so you can glue it. Like that. And then I want to make the nose and hands before I glue on the arms. You want to take out your 3 7x7-inch pieces of white felt. And then you want to get your polyester fiber fill and roll it into a ball about the size that you want to have your nose. She's kind of got large hands and nose, but not huge. So we'll get that in there, right in the middle, and then use your thumb and push it up. Like that. Then grab a rubber band and work your way around it. Like that. And then you just take and cut off the extra. But not too short, you'll lose your whole nose. Then, after you get it cut like that, you can get your blush and blush it out. About like that for the nose. The hands, I'm just slightly blush those out at the tops. But for the nose, we'll do that much blush. So I'm going to do the hands, which I'm going to make them the same way I just made the nose, and I'll be right back with you. I've got the hands finished now, and I got the blush on them. I went ahead and put a little yellow tie around the wrists with my paper ribbon, and we're going to go ahead and glue on the hands. So you just want to put some glue on the little bottom stub of the hand, a little bit around the edge, like that, and just put it in there, and then hold that pink cuff up there onto the glue. And you want to hold it like that for a minute or so. It doesn't take long for these to be able to set up the rest of the way by themselves. I want to do the hands, and then I want to go ahead and put the nose on. And you want to put that on right across from where the seam is in the back. See how I want the blush to be. And just go ahead and put your glue just on the end, like that, and put it right there across from the seam, a little bit off there. Like that. I'm going to hold that for a minute and glue the other hand on here, and I'll be right back with you. I've got the hands glued on. The nose is all set up. And the next thing we want to do is go ahead and glue the arms on right behind this stub here. We're going to glue one at a time. Get our glue in there by the rubber band there. And you want to glue it on this side of the seam, right halfway across, lining up with the seam. And you want to hold it there until it sets up. It's burning me a little bit. And I'm going to do that one, and I'm going to set up the other arm, and I'll be right back with you. The next thing that we want to do is go ahead and make the legs. And we're going to use some poly pellets in them. These measure 11.5 inches, so you should have left from the arms, 11.5 inches. And then you want to take and fill the bottoms with some polyfill. Maybe I should have put these in a different container. That's about good. And we'll fill this up again. About like that. I think I've got a little bit too much in there. Okay, now you want to take and put a rubber band around the bottom. Don't even do it tight or anything, just lay it on there. That's just to mark where the shoes, basically we're going to put a tie there, and that's going to be the shoe area. Like that. And then we want to go ahead, this is the front, the pink heel area will become the knees to the legs. That'll be the knee part. So we'll fill it up with polyester fiber fill. About like that. And then you just want to fasten off the top. This part at the top won't have stuffing in it, about maybe 1.5 inches at the top, because we're going to glue that to the bottom of the body. So we don't have to do it real tight, just a couple times around with the rubber band. And this will be glued to the body. So I'm going to do the other leg, and I'll be right back with you. We got the legs done, and I just need to, I wrapped the one ankle with the yellow ribbon, the paper ribbon, and I'm going to do the other one now. Just holding out a little piece to tie the bow, and then I'm going to wrap that rubber band that we put on there loosely. I'm just going to wrap around that a few times with the ribbon, and then go ahead and make the bow. A little bit tighter than that. Like that. And next thing we want to do is glue the legs to the body. So I'm just going to stretch out my fabric down here. We want it to be as flat as possible. And we're going to put a little glue inside that. Hold that together. And then we're gonna glue the body right on like that. I'm gonna put my glue on the extra area here. And we're gonna cover this area up with a pair of shorts as well. So if the fabric sticks out a little bit, we're not worried about it, because it's going to be a pair of shorts on there. We just want to get the legs attached securely. So let that set up, and I'll be right back. After I let this set up for just a minute or so, I lean it back and put a little bit of glue right in that area as well. And then let the whole thing set up. Be right back. So we're going to take our 7 by 16 inch piece of green fleece to make the shorts. We've got our legs setting up over here still. And we're going to make the shorts 7 by 16 inch piece. And you just want to glue it, fold it down, and glue down the 7-inch pieces, the 7-inch side. You just want to go in about 1/4 of an inch. Like that. I'm gonna let that set up. Okay, so now that it's set up, I'm going to turn it the right side out. And then we're going to put them on with this one seam on one side. Put the outside seam on the one side. And then just fit them over this way. And then what you have to do is cut down the middle. Make sure you have that up far enough back there. And we're going to cut down the middle of the shorts to make them shorts. So bring them all down like that. Take your scissors and cut right down the middle of them. Maybe just a little bit more. I'm doing the bottom a little bit more too. About like that. And then that's what you want to do is, this is when you're going to use those pink clips that come in so handy. You're going to need about 6 of them. And you just want to take and clip your shorts together at the seam where you're going to glue them at. You want the corners to hit just right. So you got it all set up how you know you're going to do it. We're going to glue the top of the waist in a second after we do this. So then you just want to take your clip off and start gluing at the corner there. After you get the glue on, you just put your clip back in place. I've got a little extra glue there that's cooled off. So you put your glue in there and then put your clip back in place, and you work your way all the way around. Sometimes you have to get these out of the way just so you can do that side. And then you do the third one, making sure that you get it all. And I'm going to finish this up and be right back with you. I'm just taking the clips off. It all turned out good in there. I went ahead and put a little bit of glue in the tops of the front and the back of the shorts so that I could set up while the other was setting up. And the next thing we want to do is put on the little jacket top type piece I've got here. It's a 12 by 18 inch piece of the red felt. Put this over here for a minute. You want to take that and fold it in half, the long way, fold it in half, meet up your corners, and then fold it in half again. And then you just want to cut the size of a $50 or between a $50 and a quarter, I guess, right out here, like that, about this big of a piece. And then you take and put it over the nose and over that stub piece on top of the arms. Like that. And then bring it down. We're going to fold the felt in like that. You can see the sleeves better. Bring it down like that. And take the pink clips again and clip this exactly like you're going to glue it. I've got the corners. That's just how you want to glue it. So we want to just start on this side and go ahead and put your glue right there at the corner. Put that back down like that and put your clip right on there. You want to do that to the other side. She's starting to get big. I'm going to finish this up and I'll be right back with you. So I've got it all glued with the clips on there now. And what I'm going to do is start taking the clips off and just putting a dot of glue to hold that flap down. Just some glue to hold that down. I'm going to hold the back side too. So you just want to go around and hold it down with some glue on the front and backs of this. And I'll be right back with you. So I've got both front and back tacked down, and I'm taking the clips out. So we're done with the clips. And then what we want to do is take and cut right down the middle of this top piece to kind of make it into a little vest. Like that. Flares out a little bit. Like that. The next thing we want to do is put on the hair pieces. I've got those right here. And we want to take and make up the ponytail. The two pieces that are 3 inch by 6 inches for the front ponytails. So we'll take those and make sure you have enough glue, and just run the glue across here and fold that in. And then run it across here. This is really nice fur, the rust fur from Amazon. And just fold that. And I'll do the other one. I'll be right back. So I've got both the ponytails made, and what we want to do is put a rubber band right along the bottom, or right about in the bottom area, because we don't want it in the middle. We're just going to do it on the bottom. And then we're going to take that leather trim and put over them. And again, it doesn't have to be leather trim. It can be whatever trim you want to use, whatever you have. I'm going to use some hairspray to keep these a little bit in shape. But before that, I want to put the trim on. We'll just glue that in place. Use the other one. So then we want to take, now she's not sitting up on her own yet until we put the pot on there. She won't be sitting up on her own, so I'm going to hold her while I get the ponytails and the back hair glued on. And we're going to put the ponytail right on the side of the nose, right next to the stub there, like that. And making sure I get the back of the seam where we glued on the back. Just like that. And I'm going to have to hold this and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got the front ponytails glued on. We're going to spray them with a little hairspray in a little bit. And they'll be a little neater. And then we're going to turn it around and glue on the 5x5 piece of rust color fur. We just want to glue it around like that. So as I'm holding with one hand, I'm going to glue with the other. I need some more glue. Thank you, honey. I see I have an extra hand. You just want to tuck it in like that and let that set up. And I'll be back to put the hat on. Okay, while the hair is setting up over here, I'm going to go ahead and make the hat. So you want to take your two 7x9 pieces of red felt. And we're just going to make a little Christmas tree hat. Line up the corners like that. And then you just want to take a marker and draw a couple spots at the top right in the middle. A little bit more right in the middle. I think I'm off a little bit there. And then you want to take your sharp scissors, your good fabric scissors, and you want to cut from the corner up to one of the dots. And you're making a Christmas tree shape. But we don't want it to be real pointed at the top. So I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to start right at the corner. And cut towards the dot. Like that. And then we get the shape of the hat. So then we want to take and just glue the sides. A 1/4 inch in. I'm going to glue across the top. And along the other side. And I'm going to let it set up and I'll be right back with you. So it's set up and I turned it right side out. And then what I do is I clip the seam ends off. Like that. A little bit, round that out a little bit more. And then we're going to put some polyester fiber fill inside. See how it's not all pointed because we put that little 1 inch section at the top straight rather than pointed it out. My husband's handing me my roller so I don't forget to put it in the hat. Okay. So we got it like that, and you want to put your roller in the back, tunnel it down a little bit. It'll slide right up in there. And that'll make it so you can bend your hat at the top. And then what we want to do is to go ahead and see if we can get her glued on, or it's not as easy to work on her right now without her pot being glued on. Get that fiber fill up there. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by gluing this to the top of her nose, gluing the hat to the top of the nose, and then working our way around. It's important to let that set up pretty good before you continue to work your way around so it doesn't pull right off of there. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to drop some glue on both sides at the seam and let that set up. And then I'm going to glue it onto the back. So I'll be right back with you. So now I've got the hat glued on and I'm gluing her legs together so that I can put the pot in place so that she can sit up by herself, and then we can finish everything else. It'll be a lot easier when she can sit up. So I'm going to let the legs set up and be back to put the pot in place. So I've got the legs glued together. I crossed and glued them together right under there. And then I want to put the pot in place. That's going to let her set up. So we want to put some glue in the back and glue it to her jacket and then glue it down here to her leg. So I'm going to ask my husband to hold her back for me. I'm going to get the glue on right there, and then the glue underneath here, and then that's good, honey. And then we're going to let it set up. So I'll be right back with you. Pot's all set up, so she's setting up on her own. And I'm going to turn her around, and I'm going to do the trim, the pink leather trim around her hat. And tie it in a bow back here. Like that. Make sure that's far enough down. And then I'm going to take the red flower, one of the red flowers. I already clipped off the metal part on this flower that I'm going to put on her back. We're going to glue that right there, right over the bow. Just hold that down for a minute, and I'll be right back. So I've got her sitting up on her little stool here, and I'm getting ready to put her pink flower on the front of her hat with the green leaf. And what I kind of did was I just kind of tore this down This headband, this is a spring headband from Dollar Tree. They're in the Dollar Trees right now. You go get them. The 4 different colors. See, I want to use this on the front of the hat, and then I needed one of the leaf as well. The leaf. I just cut this off. Got a good piece of the leaf. And I'm going to use these on the hat. So we'll do that right now. Put that right in the center. A little bit on the leather. Put that down a little bit more. And I left the sides open purposely so I could get this leaf in there. I'll put that right in there. And then just hold that for a few seconds. And that should be good. And then we want to take the other flower that's on here and just got to really break it off like that. And we're going to take that and put that in this hand. Do that up good in that one. So I'm going to put some glue on the back of it. And I'm going to hold that and I'll be right back. So we put the flower on here and it's set up. And we want to put the garden shovel on, which is what I used out of the utensil packet, was this knife. And when you slide it down in between the arm and the body, it hides this part of it. So it easily passes as a shovel. If you can see it there. So we're going to glue it on there. Cover up that part of it. I'm going to put good amount of glue because as I'm gluing it onto the arm, I'm also gluing the arm to the body at the same time. So I'll be right back with you. So the last thing we want to do is put the last red flower on. I just took the wire cutters and clipped that metal off of it. And then I kind of pinch it in a little bit. It's going to go right there. Push that down. We'll put our glue on there. Put it right in there. And that's everything for her. And as far as her accessories go, this poppy seed bag that I made to go next to her is actually the top of a wine bottle holder sleeve that a wine bottle would go in. And I used that, but you could easily take a couple pieces of burlap and make this bag. And I just used a pink marker to do the words and put one of the red flowers at the top. You could do a jute tie on it. And that's how I made the bag that goes next to her. And then I made a little pot of dirt with a shovel in it, the same way I did with the poly pellets in there with the glue. And then I painted it with the chocolate paint at the top and put a spoon down in it from the utensil bag, and it acts as a shovel. And that's all I did. That's everything that I did. So she's done now. And that's how she will be set up. And if you want to, you can even make a little chalkboard with her name on it. These are chalk markers that I got at TJ Maxx, and they had the chalk markers in the different colors. But they do have them at Dollar Tree. If you are there when they have them in stock, you can grab those up too. The Dollar Tree ones are a little thinner marking, more fine point, and the ones that I got at TJ Maxx were a more broad point. So you could do a little sign next to her as well. So that's it for today, and I want to thank you for spending this time with us. And if you like this video, make sure to like it, and if you want to see more videos like this, make sure to subscribe.